Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London, and today I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Edward Elgar. They're an independent publishers and they produce very high quality research material for us in the legal profession, both as practitioners and academics. This book is on international criminal justice, which is a very topical and important area. It's been written by two people, Gideon Bowes and Pascal Chifflet. The book's available as a book, an e-book, and it's also available at Elgar Online on the online series, and it's part of their Principles of International Law titles that they publish. Now, my wife and I gave this title for our book review the following: Grappling with Thematic Intersections Between Mass Atrocity and International Response. A great new piece of research from Elgar for 2017. Now, that title tries to encompass, or at least I've tried to encompass, what this book is really about, because we do have major problems facing us in the beginning of the 21st century with some of the things that are happening, and I think this book is very timely. Let's have a look at it first of all anyway. It's a hardback from Elgar. There it is, front there, there's the spine. You can see, and then on the back you can see some bits and quite a lot of information. I've taken a little bit of what's said here as part of the review, just so you've got some idea of what's in the book. It doesn't run to a particularly large number of pages. It runs to 250 pages, something like that. You can see the index there, nicely set out, and it's page numbered. It's not a particularly big index. There's the start of the index there, and then you've got the actual structure itself. You can see that there is subheading and so forth, and quite a lot of footnotes. Very useful. Every book that Elgar publishes very well structured. You can see it's this is part of the Principles of International Law series, which is listed there. There's the front page. Then you've got some details, and then there's a little dedication which I will show you there. And after that we get to the contents. So you can see there's a preface, then you go into the main work itself, 7 chapters with subheads inside each one. Do have a look at the preface, because I think the preface will give you something, some assistance with what the two writers are about. And of course they start off with the headline that I have used for our review, and then you get into the book itself, the chapter headings themselves, and again you do have a very useful overview, and there's a lot of research material here as well on international criminal justice at a time when we could well be at a crossroads with the way things are going internationally, with terrorism and all the other problems that we are facing globally today in a very quickly changing world. The pace is very, very quick. So what do we say about the book? Well, the statement, grappling with thematic intersections between mass atrocity and international response, which is the headline of the book and what this is about, is a bold statement which welcomes the reader to the book, which the two authors, that's Gideon Bowes and Pascal Chifflet, write that it is really this endeavour to grapple with some of the thematic intersections between mass atrocity and international responses to them, which is where we are defining the issues currently of international criminal justice. Because frankly, a lot of people have no idea which direction we're going in. And that is one of the reasons why we've not been able to address some of the major problems. At least that's one theory. This is a special book, I think, then, for jurisprudence, which identifies and develops crucial themes in international criminal justice at a most important crossroads for foreign legal policy as we become more global. And clearly that's the case. And we will at some stage, through different bodies, possibly the UN, possibly the EU, possibly a whole range of different organisations, we will have to be in a position to start looking at this in a different way. Now, the title kicks off with some answers to the main searching question for all public international lawyers: what is international criminal justice? The book delves into the role and impact of politics, history, psychology, terrorism, transitioning society in scholastic detail. Now, whether that's enough or not, I don't know, but at least it's a start. There's a quote, and even the idea of hope and the relationship of these themes, which I've just mentioned, is considered, with the author's expressed wish of how we can understand international criminal justice. And of course, that's what the book is about. It's trying to make us understand where we are at the moment, because I think we're all relatively new to this, a bit immature in trying to look possibly at some ways of dealing with this on the international stage. No criticism of anyone, it's just that it's something that we're going to have to look and prioritise perhaps in more strongly in the future. But we did find this undertaking of the book very useful, although many questions of course remain unanswered or are frankly unsolvable or insoluble at this present time. So whilst highlighting and addressing some of the main crucial legal questions, the book, International Criminal Justice, goes much further for the jurist, drawing on a range of multidisciplinary thinking as a philosophical treatise of some merit in this expanding area of legal theory, because it is really now a global thing, and it will really be about the will of people to do something about it. And the trouble is it takes a long time, and it takes a lot of problems before something is done. That's a sad fact of life, I'm afraid. Now, so what is international criminal justice? Because that's the question. The two authors of this thoughtful modern statement lay out their framework for an understanding of international criminal justice in all its facets. So they try to bring everything together for you. We found their consideration of both definition and content very helpful. Bowes and Shiflett argue for the treatment of international criminal justice as, they say aholistic, I'd say an holistic field of study, rather than a byproduct of international criminal law. That is clearly the correct modern approach. And I think that's right, because again, I don't know whether there is sufficient thinking about what we're going to do about this, and it should be much higher up the international political agenda, but that's possibly for another day. Throughout the book, they've adopted a multidisciplinary approach, illustrating a range of legal and extra-legal disciplines to give it a more rounded approach overall. And the writers challenge many of the prevalent paradigms of thinking in this area, as Bowes and Shiflett explore the thankless task of whether it's possible to reconcile some of the enduring intellectual conflict, such as whether and how retributive and restorative approaches to justice can coexist. And I think the authors do it very well indeed, and it's a start, because we've got a long way to go. Let me conclude by saying this, that these two leading academics, who are also practitioners in the field as well as established writers and researchers, make our lives much easier with the work they've done, and we remain very grateful to them and to Elgar for publishing this title in the Principles of International series, because the book remains a unique work which performs a significant role in defining and explaining international criminal justice to what will be a wide range of readers, and as such will be, I think, important reading for undergraduates, scholars and practitioners, as well as a much wider field of those perhaps interested in political science. And the law is as stated in 2017, and the book is available as the actual printed book here, a PDF and an e-book. And as I've said, there's also the online version which you can get if you want to. Here's the book again. There's the front, there's the spine, and then there's the back. And then if you open the book in the middle, you can see international criminal justice and psychology. Again, it's not, you can't compartmentalise this book. You can see there's a lot of footnoting, because I think it's got a much wider appeal than just for the lawyer. I know it's a legal book, but I think you will find it much more interesting than just for the legal fraternity. Anyway, a very great thank you to Elgar and to the people involved in this. That's Gideon and Pascal. It's an important contribution to modern jurisprudence, and it certainly should be read by, I hope, as many people as possible to gain a better understanding of where we are today in the global world with international criminal justice. Thank you to all. Bye-bye.